Hey toy fans, welcome back to my figure review series here on my YouTube channel, and today we are once again looking at those robots in disguise. That's right, this time we have Transformers Generations Tankor. And Tankor, if you're unfamiliar with him, was part of the Transformers Beast Machine series that immediately followed up Beast Wars in the 90s. I believe this show aired in the year 2000, and it was just a continuation of all the events as Beast Wars closed. This was a show that took place on Cybertron and went back to the car Transformers. There were still animal Transformers, but the enemies on the show, the Vehicons, like Tankor that we have here, were all vehicle Transformers, so it was kind of a return to form in that sense. Now, Beast Machines is a pretty polarizing show, but Tankor is definitely probably one of the standout characters of the show, so I'm really glad that I got this figure. I'm excited that Hasbro has decided to release him as part of their Generations line, and I can't wait to get this guy out of the box. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the packaging. As you come down the front of the box, what you're going to see is the Transformers Generation logo. You will see an exclusive IDW comic with Tankor on the cover. You've got a blister bubble that houses Tankor and shows the accessories that it comes with, and then you see Tankor in vehicle mode, and at the bottom you do see Tankor's name and that he is a Vehicon. Flipping the package around now, you'll see that Tankor is a level 2 Transformer. You see the logo for the Vehicons on the right, as well as the logo for Transformers Generation. Coming down the box, you do have the 30th anniversary logo on the left, and the bio for Tankor. Go ahead and pause now to read this. You then see an image of Tankor in robot mode, and an image of Tankor in his Cybertronian tank mode. And at the bottom you do have the statistics for Tankor. Also on the bottom of the box you can see an image of all the figures in this wave. Alright guys, that's the back of the packaging. Let's get this Tankor out of the box and see what this guy is all about. Alright toy fans, here we have Tankor out of the box, and I've got to say I really enjoy the paint applications on this figure. He's got some excellent blue coloring here, some yellow, some red. I like the way all of it comes together. It really adds a lot of detail to this figure in vehicle mode, so I'm very, very happy about that. Where I'm a little off-put by this vehicle mode is I feel like it's not exactly like I remember it looking on the animated series Beast Machines. And maybe that's the point. Maybe this is sort of a generation celebration figure. Maybe it is supposed to be a bit different. But from what I remember on the cartoon, Tankor actually, his head was a little bit higher and could pivot left and right as he looked around and drove around. Same thing for his gun too. His gun here just kind of sits, it's on an arm that moves forward and backward, but it doesn't rotate left or right. And I feel like he just kind of would have trouble seeing over his own torso piece here on the front, or his own chassis on the tank. So I am a little disappointed by that. In fact, if we compare him to the 2000 McDonald's toy version of Tankor, this Tankor figure has the head like I remember seeing it on the animated series, where you can look left and right and take shots of people. The head would fold back if you wanted it to do so, but otherwise it's up and around just like it was on the series, so he could taunt his opponents and look around and shoot at them. So I kind of wish that this Tankor figure had the features of a McDonald's toy, believe it or not. But outside of that, the paint applications are really, really great. This figure does slide back and forth really nicely, so I'm happy about that, and it's still a figure I'm glad to have in my collection. Just wish the head moved more like it did on the show. Alright, let's go ahead and get to the transformation of this figure. Now, I remember watching Beast Machines and knowing that the Maximals would say, "I am transformed" to transform, but I don't think the Vehicons ever said anything. I think they just transformed. So, for the sake of this video, we'll just say, Tankor, transform! Alright guys, so to start with, you want to get this gun out of the way, and you're going to start by kind of cracking this guy in half here, and separating the head piece from what are going to become the arms, and we're going to go ahead and fold these arms out like this. You want to bring these arms down, and just kind of rotate them, each one, like this. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is set this guy back, or actually we're going to separate this piece from what are going to become the feet. There's little pegs that plug into each side of the tank here, so we're going to go ahead and separate those. And we're going to bring this piece up, and it's going to lock here at these tabs on the chest. There's also some pins here to go in the back of the figure. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there. All plugs in there to kind of make sure everything snaps into place, so that's looking good there. And as we take a look at the feet now, we're going to go ahead and flip up these blue pieces here, and we're going to go ahead and flatten out the treads so they're more foot-like. And Tankor is basically transformed at this point. So you want to bring the cannon down, but this is more or less a pretty easy transformation for this figure. Now, it's worth noting that the packaging for the figure does show these blue pieces facing forward. However, the official instructions for the transformation show that the legs need to be rotated like this. I don't know that I like Tankor like this as much. I do think I prefer the blue pieces facing forward, so that's why I'm going to choose to have my Tankor looking. But very easy transformation, very show accurate, and I'm very happy with how that part works. As far as accessories go for this Tankor figure, he comes with just the shoulder-mounted cannon that you saw at the beginning of this review. Let's go ahead and move Tankor out of the way here. This shoulder-mounted cannon is not spring-loaded, but it has sort of a ball knob, I guess, on the missile. I don't know what you would call that. But the way this gun is designed to work is that you would just pump it, and the missile fires. Doesn't fire too far, but, you know, it's enough. And then as far as getting this figure on the, or getting this gun rather, on the Tankor, you're just going to take this gun. It's got a hook right there. It snaps into a little bar that's on the Tankor figure. Pops right on there, and you can display the cannon folded up or over the shoulder if he's about to strike. So pretty nice accessory there for the Tankor figure. Now the other thing that this Tankor comes with was that limited edition comic book. And unfortunately, I forgot to mention this in my Rat Trap review, but Rat Trap's comic didn't feature Rat Trap at all. But this Tankor comic actually does feature Tankor. Let me see if I can find the page really quick here. Tankor in this comic is a member, you can see him there in the back, of Starscream's forces, and he appears to be in the med bay. So maybe Tankor's personality is similar to what he evolves into on Beast Machines. I won't say too much to avoid spoiling the show, but it would make sense for Tankor to be in an infirmary if the events of Beast Machines hold true. And there's a nice little bit of characterization here for Tankor as he goes face to face with Starscream and kind of challenges him on the foolish decisions he's making, and that Tankor really only ever came back to Cybertron to avoid war, and now he's stuck in the middle of one. So I do appreciate that little bit of characterization. It's only about 4 panels long, but at least he's in the comic book that he comes with, unlike the Rat Trap figure that I've already reviewed. Let's go ahead and turn our attention to Articulation now. As we take a look at this Tankor figure, we're going to see that, oh, first of all, I forgot to mention, he does have some light piping. Let's see if we can get this in here. If you bring a light over the top of his head here, you can see that there is some translucent red plastic. It doesn't really work that well, but this Tankor figure is designed to have light piping, so I appreciate that. And let's go ahead and get this light reset here. Bear with me just a moment, guys. Alright, there we go. And we're going to see here that Tankor does have an arm that rotates 360 degrees at the shoulder. He does have a head that'll turn left and right. It doesn't look up or down, unfortunately. He has no waist articulation. He does have a single jointed elbow that moves forward that far and moves back that far, so great range of motion there. He does rotate at an upper bicep swivel, so he's got some nice movement there. And he does have hands that actually open and close. So that's a nice touch. And then he's got these almost saw blades here on his forearm that just kind of spin freely. As we come down, no waist articulation, but Tankor does have a leg that'll move forward that far. It will move back that far. There is some upper thigh swivel here, so it does turn 360 degrees. And due to the transformation, it does have a foot that'll move up that far and move down very far. So nice range of motion on this figure, about what you'd expect for a tank transformer, and I'm very happy with the articulation in that sense. Taking a look at the height of this Tankor figure, we can see that he does stand at just about 4.5 inches tall. If we count the cannon in there, it will go up to just over 5 inches tall. For some size comparison, here we have Tankor standing next to Transformers Generations Rat Trap, who does stand just a little bit taller. And here's Tankor compared to the Transformers Cybertron Jungle Planet Optimus Prime. And just for fun, Tankor compared to the 2000 Beast Machines McDonald's version of Tankor. Here we have Tankor compared to another Tankor. On the right here, you have a Tankor that was released in the mid-2000s, around the time the Transformers Classics lines first started. This was one of the first Triple Changer figures that was released. This is a Tankor, and this is a Tankor. I think they just share the same name. I don't think there's any other relations between the two, but it is fun to see the comparison between these Tankors. And of course, the Tankor on the right is much larger. And finally, Tankor compared to the 6-inch scale 2014 Marvel Legends Infinite Series Wolverine. Alright, Toy fans, so that's my review of the 2014 Transformers Generations Tankor figure released by Hasbro. And overall, I'm very, very happy with this figure. He's got some excellent paint applications. I really like the level of articulation he's got. He's got a great Transformers robot mode. Very happy with that. I just got that minor gripe about his vehicle mode. I wish the head was more show accurate as far as its articulation, and even the gun for that matter. But outside of that small little quibble, this is an absolutely fantastic figure, and probably the best Beast Machines figure we've seen released, including the original toy line. So I'm very, very happy with that. Definitely go out and pick up this guy. You're going to enjoy him a lot. Well, that's my review, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see here, please feel free to rate, share, and subscribe. Also, be sure to hit me up on Twitter at D21Beast. I'd love to talk with you guys and get the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.